Oh yeah, today we're going to make a Scottish-Irish crossover dish. It's all comfort food though. It is really tasty and you are going to come back for more. So what we're going to need is about a pound of mince, some cream, some mustard, some oxo cubes, a bay leaf, some fresh rosemary from the garden, a good sized leek, a couple of onions chopped roughly. I've got some mushrooms, dried mushrooms soaking in boiling water. We're going to use the water, we're going to pull the mushrooms out, chop them up and use the water to put into the mince because it's full of flavour. I've got some cabbage leaves from the garden. I've used the outside of the Savoy cabbages my wife's growing because they've got a nice bitter tang to them, a little bit sort of metallic. But you can use, well, any dark green you like really. Even get away with spinach or kale. So there's a good bowl of that there. There's just over a kilo, a couple of pound of potato. I've used the Golden Wonder because it's really floury and it's going to absorb the cream and mustard and all these lovely flavours. You can use a waxy potato if you rather. And all I've done is steam them and just mash them a bit, not too much. And that's it, so we're ready to cook. Okay, so in one pan, nice thick heavy pan, I'm going to put some cold pressed rapeseed oil, and again in the other pan a good wallop. Now you could use butter in this one, but you know, modern days we're all worried about our cholesterol and what have you. But honestly the flavour from that rape is really good anyway. So into this pan we're going to pop onions. And we'll just give them a good fry up. And we're going to put half of our rosemary. You can chop it up. If you do chop it up though, use slightly less because it gets stronger. And into this pan, or put your bay leaf in there as well. Into this pan we're going to put our leeks. And whenever you cook leeks, and they go in the pan, add some salt, because it helps the sugar to come out and caramelise them, and it gets the flavours going straight away. There we go, so we'd let these cook out until the smells have changed. If you wanted, you could put some garlic in there. Honestly, I don't believe it does need it, which is unusual for me to say. Okay, they're both softening up and colouring. I also forgot to tell you, we're going to be putting some cheese on top. So it's probably just as well we're not using butter. Put the rest of the rosemary in with the leeks. And then into the leeks we're going to put the lovely cabbage. Now if you were feeling really naughty, you could throw some bacon in there as well. Makes it dearer, but it does make it yummy. And into the onions, we're going to add our pound of mince. And we'll fry and cook that down until it's all brown and let it move on. Okay, as you can see, the mince is coloured. So we're going to add it's about a packet of dried mushrooms. You can get these in Tesco's and all the supermarkets. They may be labelled porcini or just dried mushrooms. You can use fresh chestnut mushrooms, but you don't get the juice with that, and there's an immense amount of flavour in this juice. So when you pour the juice in, the soaking liquid, don't pour it all, because you will get just a wee bit of rubbish at the bottom. You can see that. So also into there we're going to add 3 oxo cubes. You can see that the cabbage is softened, so we're going to add about half a tub of cream, and then we're going to let that cream reduce down and thicken up. And in here we're going to let this cook out a little bit. Probably going to add a little bit more water and let it boil down so that the mince gets nice and tender, and the mushrooms as well. So I'll probably add about half a pint of water. I'll do that now. and then I'll let that reduce down and boil away till it's nearly dry, and by that time the mushrooms and mince will be nice and tender. Also, keep checking as you're cooking the salt levels. Don't add all the salt at once, it's better to add little bits at a time. And we're going to add a good wallop of fresh white pepper, or black if you prefer, to both dishes. Like pepper. There we go, so we'll reduce that down, and we'll reduce this down, and then we'll move on. Okay, the cream's reduced down nicely now. We're going to add about a good heaped teaspoon of mustard. I like mustard. If you've got coarse grain mustard, you can use that. You can use Dijon if you want. It all depends how strong you like your mustard in there. So there we go. That's in. Now we're going to add our mashed potatoes. And remember, I've used the floury mash because it'll absorb that cream. It'll absorb it so much that you may need to add a bit more of that cream, but we'll see. You don't want it too wet, but you don't want it too dry. Yeah, that's going to need more cream. There we go. And it's just a case of seasoning this up till it's how you like it. You want it sort of quite peppery, a little bit spiky mustard, because we're going to build this into a cheesy pie later. Okay, so I'll mix that in. We're going to turn that off now. The leeks are turned off. I'm going to mix that in and check the seasoning. Okay, I've seasoned that up. That needed a good hit of salt and some more pepper. Incidentally, if you were to put that on a plate now, whack some sausage or a bit of square sausage on the top, some onion gravy, that would be delicious as it is. But we're not doing that today. Also, into this, I added a tiny bit of the liquid seasoning. Totally optional, it just gives it a bit more depth of flavour. So we're going to now wait until this is reduced, and then we'll build the dish. Okay, you can see that that's nearly all boiled away. You don't want it totally gone, the water, but near as damn it. I've taken out the bay leaf. So now what we've got to do is build the dish. So I've got an oven-proof oval Pyrex. Use any shape you want, really. This is nice and deep. So we're going to put half of the potato mixture on the bottom and just smooth it out. It is one of those meals that you just sit with a shovel and throw in your face. Nothing elegant about it. Just good, honest comfort food. Great for a day like today. We thought spring was here yesterday, but it's not. Okay, so on top of that, we take our mince mixture and just whack all that on and then smooth it out. Okay, so that's the mince on. Now we're just going to take the mash, and carefully, because you don't want to move the mince around too much, we're going to spread the mash out evenly on top and then put some cheese on it. So I'll spread that now. Okay, let's spread that out nice and evenly. Now we're just going to top it with some cheddar. Spread this out. You can do it without the cheddar if you want, but it's nowhere near as good. I'm using a cheddar that's got a good melting rate. It's from Asda's. It's their bargain one, mature, but it's really good for melting. It makes great cheese on toast as well. Some of them are a bit too dry, but this is nice. And so we could just pop a few bits of tomato over the top because I like it. Some pepper. Here's a really naughty bit. Just some big crystals of salt. so that every now and then you get a little explosion of salt in your mouth. Now we're going to throw that in the oven, 180 degrees. We're not really cooking anything because it's all cooked. We're just warming it through and letting that cheese melt and go all gooey and lovely. So I'll pop it in the oven now. I just thought it was worth a shot of the side so you can see sort of what you're getting at the end of it. So, as I say, 180 degrees. We're going to leave that in there probably about 20 minutes. Well, there we have it. Comfort food, mince, whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to, there's no way you can possibly serve this without it being a mess. So I'm just going to whack in, shovel it out. Good comfort food should be a mess. Show me a messy lasagna and I'll show you a rubbish one. A neat lasagna, should I say. There we go. Now I shall try it and get a nice photograph of that. It may look like a lot of work, it's not. And you can do everything in advance. Make your potato, your cold cannon, or whatever name you want to give it, in advance. Make your mince in advance, put it together, whack it through the oven. Give it a try, it is worth it. And it also, you can portion it up, put it in containers, pop it in the fridge. It microwaves brilliantly. So you got meals for a few days out of it. Enjoy.